So if you haven't already watched Marvel's Captain Marvel, I highly recommend you do before watching this video, as it'll of course contain spoilers. If you'd like to know my thoughts on the movie, please watch my review that I will link in the description below. So of course, if you've already watched the movie, you would have seen the post-credit scene, which I will briefly summarize, involving the remaining Avengers, Captain America, War Machine, Black Widow, and Bruce Banner, observing the pager that Nick Fury dropped before his death in the Infinity War post-credit scene. The group discusses the implications and possible dangers of contacting whoever is at the receiving end when a seemingly enraged Captain Marvel appears behind them very suddenly and asks, "Where's Fury?" before the screen cuts to black. Now, this end credit scene does raise a few questions while also answering a few pertaining to Captain Marvel's involvement in Endgame. For starters, it seems that she'll be an integral part of the movie from the start of the film, which Marvel very clearly deliberately hid from the first Endgame trailer that launched a while back. Now, while I am relatively eager to see how Captain Marvel interacts with the OG Avengers, I am quite concerned as to whether or not she as a character will fit into the MCU naturally. As a whole, the Captain Marvel movie was mediocre at best, and the attempt to retcon the universe to have her be an authentic part of it was very sloppily done. First, the retcon of Nick Fury having known her and having had a means to contact her for the longest time doesn't make too much sense. There were just too many instances where he could have used or perhaps required the assistance of Captain Marvel. For instance, in the first Avengers movie, when the world was being invaded by the Chitauri, he perhaps could have called her at that moment, as she has some expertise in alien invasions. Or in the second movie, when the world was at risk of being destroyed by Ultron, or in Winter Soldier, when he was almost killed by Bucky Barnes. Now, this may sound like a nitpick, but this was a plot point, or rather, continuity error that could have been very easily avoided. And I don't know about you, but those are definitely big emergencies where he could have used the help of Captain Marvel. Now, I would like to talk about the comic book retcons, but somebody has already done a very comprehensive video on that, which I will link in the description. It's by a YouTube channel called Young Rippa. It's a very interesting watch. That aside, some things added to the movie were clearly an afterthought. For instance, and weren't planned very well. Like, for instance, the moment when Nick Fury changed his Protector Initiative plan to the Avenger Initiative after noticing that Captain Marvel's pilot name was Carol the Avenger Danvers. Now, this part in particular was cringe-inducing. If they truly planned it well, this movie would have been called Captain Marvel: The First Avenger, and I wouldn't have bat an eye, even though that might have pissed off a lot of people, and they would have called the first Captain America movie something else entirely. Aside from that, there is of course the rising concern that Marvel simply wanted to rush a powerful female superhero into the universe to combat DC's widely popular Wonder Woman, and it truly shows. Captain Marvel as a character has been generally disliked, with most people favoring her older incarnation, Ms. Marvel, which begs the question as to why she in particular was chosen for a solo movie outing. If Marvel wanted to have a powerful female superhero at the forefront of their movies, why not Scarlet Witch, an already available and arguably more popular hero than Captain Marvel, who would have fit that powerful superhero role perfectly? Unfortunately, the damage has already been done, and while I do enjoy the movie and welcome Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, I would have preferred if they had written her into the MCU in a different way, or perhaps tried to make the movie fit cohesively into the Marvel Universe. As it stands, Captain Marvel feels a bit disconnected from the world they've built thus far. That being said, I of course am going to be fair and hold off criticism until I watch Endgame next month, which all of us should do as well. With that being said, what do you feel about Captain Marvel in the MCU? Which characters would you have preferred to have taken her place, and do you still look forward to Endgame after watching Captain Marvel? Leave your comments in the description, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.